Superman was supposed to fly forever. But what happens when the cape gets torn, the legacy gets questioned, and the man behind the myth faces his greatest challenges yet? This is the untold story of Dwight Howard, and what really happened will shock you. You remember Dwight Howard, right? The guy who could dunk from the free throw line wearing a Superman cape. The man who carried Orlando Magic to the NBA Finals. The center who was supposed to be the next Shaquille O'Neal. But somewhere along the way, everything changed. The superstar became a journeyman. The Superman became human. Today, we're diving deep into what really happened to Dwight Howard, from his incredible rise to his dramatic fall and the shocking twists that nobody saw coming in 2025. Trust me, this story has more plot twists than a Hollywood thriller. Real quick before we go deeper into this emotional roller coaster, if this video is hitting you the right way, please show some love by liking and subscribing. We see that 98% of our audience watches but doesn't subscribe. It's free, it's easy, and it genuinely helps us create more content like this. Take that quick second right now. Got it? You're the best. Alright, let's go back to 2004. Dwight Howard was just 18 years old when he walked into the NBA draft as the #1 overall pick. Fresh out of Southwest Atlanta Christian Academy, this kid had shoulders broader than most grown men and a smile that could light up an entire arena. The Orlando Magic saw something special. They weren't wrong. Within just a few years, Howard transformed from a raw teenager into an absolute monster on the basketball court. We're talking about a guy who led the league in rebounds 5 times. 5 times. He won 3 consecutive Defensive Player of the Year awards from 2009 to 2011. That's not just impressive, that's legendary. But here's what made Dwight different from other dominant centers. He had personality. Remember that 2008 NBA Slam Dunk Contest, February 16th, 2008 in New Orleans? Howard showed up wearing a Superman cape, threw down dunks that defied physics, and had the entire crowd losing their minds. At 6 feet 11 inches, he became the tallest winner in the contest's history. The numbers don't lie. During his prime years with Orlando from 2007 to 2012, Howard averaged over 20 points and 14 rebounds per game. He was first-team All-NBA for 5 straight years. The Magic weren't just competitive, they were championship contenders because of one man. 2009 was supposed to be Dwight's year. The Orlando Magic, led by their Superman, went on an incredible playoff run that nobody expected. They knocked out the Philadelphia 76ers, swept the heavily favored Boston Celtics, and then did the unthinkable. They beat LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals. June 4th, 2009. Game 1 of the NBA Finals at Staples Center in Los Angeles. Dwight Howard was facing off against the Lakers, and for a moment it looked like David might actually beat Goliath. Howard averaged 15.4 points and 15.4 rebounds in those finals, but Kobe Bryant had other plans. The Lakers won in 5 games, but something changed in Dwight during that series. The pressure, the expectations, the weight of carrying an entire franchise, it was crushing. Little did anyone know, this would be the beginning of the end for Superman in Orlando. After the 2009 finals loss, things started falling apart. The Magic couldn't build a championship caliber team around Howard. Trade rumors began swirling. Dwight started getting frustrated with management, with his teammates, with the city itself. Then came what fans still call the Dwightmare. For months, Howard went back and forth about whether he wanted to stay in Orlando or leave. One day he was committed, the next day he wanted out. The drama became a daily soap opera that dominated ESPN for an entire season. The breaking point came in 2012. After 8 years in Orlando, after leading them to the finals, after being the face of the franchise, Dwight Howard demanded a trade. On August 10th, 2012, the Magic finally gave him what he wanted. They traded their Superman to the Los Angeles Lakers. But here's the thing about getting what you want. Sometimes it's not what you expected. The 2012-13 Lakers season was supposed to be magical. You had Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, Paul Gasol, and now Dwight Howard. On paper, this team should have won 70 games. In reality, it was a complete disaster. Dwight was coming off back surgery. He wasn't the same dominant force, but more than that, he and Kobe clashed constantly. Bryant was demanding perfection, Howard was trying to find his rhythm, and the chemistry was toxic. The Lakers barely made the playoffs with a 45-37 record. They got swept in the first round by the San Antonio Spurs. After just one season, on July 5, 2013, Dwight Howard left Los Angeles to sign with the Houston Rockets as a free agent. The guy who was supposed to be the next great Lakers center had lasted exactly 1 year. What happened next was unprecedented for a player of Howard's caliber. He became a basketball nomad, moving from team to team like he was searching for something he could never find. Houston Rockets from 2013 to 2016. 3 years of decent basketball but no championship. Then Atlanta Hawks for 1 season in 2016 to 17. Then Charlotte Hornets for 1 year. Then Washington Wizards for 1 year. Then back to the Lakers for the 2019 to 20 season. But here's where the story gets interesting. That 2019 to 20 Lakers season was played in the NBA bubble in Orlando, Florida, the same city where Dwight's career had peaked over a decade earlier. On October 11, 2020, the Lakers won the NBA championship, and Dwight Howard finally got his ring. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Superman got his championship not as the star, but as a role player. Not in his prime, but at age 34. Not as the main character, but as a supporting actor in LeBron James's story. After that championship, Howard played 1 more season with the Lakers, then 1 final season with the Philadelphia 76ers in 2021-22. His NBA career was over. So what happened to Dwight Howard after his NBA career ended? Most retired players fade into obscurity, maybe become coaches or commentators. Not Dwight. He kept playing basketball, but in the most unexpected places. In 2024, Howard played for the Taiwan Mustangs in something called the Asian Tournament. Yes, you heard that right. One of the most dominant centers in NBA history was playing professional basketball in Taiwan. He even appeared on a Netflix show called Somebody Feed Phil's, where he talked about the cultural shock of living in Asia. But basketball wasn't his only focus. Howard appeared on Dancing with the Stars in 2024, paired with professional dancer Daniela Karagach. They were eliminated on November 12th during the show's 500th episode. The image of Superman doing the cha-cha was something nobody expected to see. Then came the legal troubles. In July 2023, a man sued Howard for assault, battery, and other serious charges, stemming from an incident at Howard's Georgia home in July 2021, denied everything, calling it consensual activity. The case made headlines for months before being dismissed in August 2024, with all claims dropped. Just when you thought Dwight's story couldn't get more dramatic, 2025 happened. On April 5th, 2025, Howard was elected to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame as a first ballot inductee. After all the team changes, all the drama, all the criticism, the basketball world finally recognized what we always knew. Dwight Howard was one of the greatest centers ever to play the game, but the honors didn't stop there. On March 24th, 2025, the Orlando Magic inducted Howard into their franchise Hall of Fame. It was an emotional ceremony where Dwight broke down in tears, finally healing the wounds from the Dwight Mayer era.
So, thank you guys for letting me play for this beautiful franchise.
13 years after leaving Orlando, Superman had come home. The basketball gods weren't done with plot twists. On April 9th, 2025, Ice Cube's Big Free League announced that Dwight Howard would play his final season of professional basketball in their 3-on-3 league. At age 39, Howard signed with the Los Angeles Riot as a player captain for the summer 2025 season. But while his basketball legacy was being cemented, his personal life was falling apart. Howard had married rapper and reality star Amy Luciani, whose real name is Amber Rose Howard, in a private ceremony on January 11th, 2025. They had announced their engagement just weeks earlier in December 2024. The marriage lasted exactly 6 months. On July 1st, 2025, Luciani filed for divorce in Gwinnett County, Georgia, citing that the marriage was irretrievably broken with no prospects for reconciliation. She requested alimony and equal division of all marital assets. So what really happened to Dwight Howard? The truth is more complex than any simple answer. Here's a man who achieved everything a basketball player could dream of: Hall of Fame career, NBA championship, 8 All-Star selections, 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. His career numbers are staggering: 15.7 points and 11.8 rebounds per game over 18 NBA seasons. He's 10th all-time in career rebounds and 13th all-time in blocks. But success in sports doesn't guarantee success in life. Howard has 5 children with 5 different women. His relationship with Royce Reed, the mother of his oldest child, was so contentious that he once sued her for $500 million over her appearances on Basketball Wives. He won a defamation judgment, but the damage to his reputation was already done. The real Dwight Howard is someone who never quite figured out how to handle fame, pressure, and expectations. He wanted to be loved, but his constant team changes made fans question his loyalty. He wanted to be the best, but his personality clashed with the win-at-all-costs mentality of players like Kobe Bryant. Howard established the Dwight D. Howard Foundation in 2004 and has been heavily involved in charity work throughout his career. He's donated millions to various causes and was named one of the 10 finalists for the Jefferson Awards for Public Service in 2009. But somehow, his off-court drama always overshadowed his good deeds. As we speak, Dwight Howard is preparing for his final basketball chapter with the Big Three. The enshrinement ceremony for the Basketball Hall of Fame is scheduled for September 5th to 6th, 2025 at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut and the Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Howard has said he wants Kevin Garnett, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to walk him out during the ceremony. 3 legends honoring another legend regardless of all the drama that came before. At 39 years old, with an estimated net worth between $140 and $150 million, Howard could easily retire and fade away. But that's not who he is. He's always been someone who needs to be in the spotlight, for better or worse. What really happened to Dwight Howard? He became human. The Superman cape was always just a costume. Underneath was a talented, flawed, complicated person trying to navigate fame, relationships, and expectations in a world that demanded perfection. His basketball legacy is secure: Hall of Famer, champion, one of the most dominant centers of his generation. But his personal journey reminds us that athletic greatness doesn't automatically translate to life success. The story of Dwight Howard isn't over yet. Whether it's his final season in the Big Three, his Hall of Fame speech, or whatever comes next, Superman still has chapters left to write. What do you think about Dwight Howard's journey? Did he live up to the hype, or was he the biggest disappointment in NBA history? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of basketball's most controversial figures, smash that like button and hit subscribe for more untold sports stories that will blow your mind.